Morning, and it's 10 o'clock on what looks like being a very hot day. And right, Graham's rolled up, so might as well get ourselves ready and make a move. And as we round our shit corner, today's plan is to head to the Dragon Soul Bikers Coffee Shop at Newport for a cuppa and to meet up with Jonathan. Then head out towards the China Sprocket Cafe at Ruthyn, going past Ellesmere and generally that way. Then from there we'll head for the seaside and sort of play it by ear once we get there. Now I'm trying the other drift camera mounted on our spring clip mount on the back of the trike. We'll see how that goes. And there behind we've got Andy on his MZ Scorpion and Graham on his BSA Gold Star. As per usual, we use the motorway to get out of the urban sprawl. And there we are, just approaching Junction 9 at Wednesbury. And some 20 miles later, we leave the M54 at Junction 3 and pick up the A41 to Newport. And there we are, the Dragon Soul Bikers Coffee Shop. And we'd only been there about 5 minutes before Jonathan turned up. So, looks like we've got everybody we need. Yeah, we don't seem to have lost anybody. I decided to remove the rear facing camera here because I could see that the spring clip mount was slowly moving its way along. Nothing that an application of a bungee won't fix for the next time, so we'll bear that in mind. A little bit of wiggling to get out because the driver of that white car there thought the best place to park was just, well, I say park, best place to abandon their vehicle was directly behind the trike. Oh well, takes all sorts, doesn't it? And there we are, turning off at Shawbury. And through Ellesmere. We stop while Jonathan grabs some petrol, and of course I had to stop next to the table with the obnoxious yappy little dog. And we take the back road up the Horseshoe Pass rather than the main road, mainly because it's prettier. As I said, it's a much prettier route, is this? Whilst coming down the Nantigua Pass, I had that ouch moment where a wasp had decided to sting me on the back of the neck. I knew it was a wasp because as I picked my hand up to brush it off, it landed on the back seat, and it was still there when I pulled up at the cafe a few miles later. Nasty stripy little git. And the China and Sprocket Cafe at Ruthyn. I went for the sausage, egg, beans and chips, and yep, it was most enjoyable, all washed down with a decent cup of coffee. So I dare say this is another cafe I shall be poking my nose into again in the future. A quick stop at the services on the A55, and I have to say it's certainly hot today. I'm glad we're near the coast where it's 2 or 3 degrees cooler. Anyway, let's see if we can make it as far as the seaside. Well, that big blue thing over there on the right is definitely the sea, so it's looking promising. success. Colwyn Bay on the seaside. We would have had an ice cream, but I'm afraid the ice cream kiosk had closed down. Oh well, maybe we're just out of season, I don't know. Right, the plan from here is to follow the coast as far as Llandudno and then pop up to the top of the Great Orme's Head for a look round and then start making our way back towards the Midlands. Well, the road certainly does follow the coast in some places, such as here. And we follow the tram up to the summit of the Great Orme's Head. And luckily it was even cooler up the top of here, with a nice refreshing breeze. I got here and there's a bike on my side of the road heading straight for me. And then the gentleman realised he's in England and we drive on the left. He was on German or Belgian plates by the look of it, and his mate did something very similar there. But we laughed, it happens. And back down the steep bit with Llandudno and the bay in front of us. Hello, blue flashing lights behind me. Let's pull over. Something must be going on somewhere. And indeed something was going on, because everything had come to a halt. And I can see vehicles up in front turning round. Well, I thought I'll do the same. Shouldn't be a problem back up into town and pick up the A470, which is the road we would have ended up on anyway. So we're going to see a little bit more of the world. Unfortunately, the A470 had come to a standstill. So rather than sit in the blazing sun, I called the others past. So meet them back up in Llangollen or somewhere similar. And I sat there in the sun. One of the drawbacks of a trike, I suppose. And I sat there for the best part of an hour. And it was bloody warm. But eventually, we did manage to reach the A5 and start moving again. And the A5, I suppose with hindsight, I should have turned the camera off, because looking at the video files, I was sat in that traffic for 1.5 hours all told. Ow, not good. It's getting on for 8 o'clock as I roll up at Llangollen. So I'll park up, find the others and see what our next move's going to be. Right, the plan is we'll fill up with petrol and then take the direct way back, A5, M54, M6. It's going to be turned 9 o'clock by the time we get back, so we'll head straight for the club rather than go home. The trike had done 229 miles since I last filled it up, and I managed to get 27 3/4 litres in, which is 6.1 gallon. So we were doing 37.5 miles to the gallon, which, yeah, I can live with that. And at about 9:05, as I'm heading down the A5, that's where the camera battery ran out, which is why I said it would have been a good idea to turn it off whilst I was sat in the traffic. Never mind. Whilst at the club meeting, I put the camera that was on the back of the trike on the helmet. I didn't know whether it would work on this helmet or not, whether the mounting was in the right place, but it doesn't seem too bad. and as we roll round our shit corner in the dark. All in all, it's been a good day. It's another milestone reached. I can actually get to the seaside and back, although the coming back was a bit of an endurance test, sat in the traffic for an hour and a half without being able to move about much. That was a tad uncomfortable, but apart from that, it was a good day out. So I suppose, until the next time, see you later.